Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Bass Singer Reaction. Today is special for two reasons. The first is, of course, this is the second reaction and analysis that I'll be releasing this week. This is also a first time. I have not seen Pentatonix's new song, The Prayer. A lot of suggestions for it. And two, a while back I said, sometime maybe I'll record one in morning voice that I can demonstrate some of the low notes better. No guarantee on the demonstration, but this is the morning, so this is what my voice sounds like in the morning. I did have a few drinks last night, but I've also been up for a couple hours, so it's not like crazy low or anything. But you can hear there's more for my voice. It's not all that much lower. There's usually just a lot more kind of bass resonance frequency in there. So that's that. So today's morning voice, second reaction of the week. Guys, if you like what I'm doing, as always, please like and subscribe, help me grow my channel. And if you're really enjoying everything, you're getting a lot from it, you're learning things, please consider donating to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. So we've got coffee ready because it's the morning. We've got my keyboard ready. And we've got these ready just in case, although Pentatonix, not usually a Pit Viper kind of crew, which I really like about their arrangements, I've said before. They're very singable and replicable live. But let's go ahead and dive in. I've heard so many great things about this new piece from them, so let's do it. Oh, okay, really nice intro. Ooh. So what they did there was a suspended fourth, and let's see what key we're in. F, we're in F major. So a suspended fourth and an F chord is when you have like that. So the chord hits and it feels like, oh, it's gonna resolve, it's gonna resolve, it's gonna resolve, and then finally it resolves to the F major, and it's like the most satisfying thing ever. I guess Matt went down to F2 there, I believe. Let's go back and listen to it again. It's a short intro. And just kind of listen to how the voices weave in and out from one another. There are these moments of dissonance, which I've talked about before, where there's a clash between some notes. But if you can kind of feel where the resolve is going to go, it's like actually kind of comforting. As opposed to if you just have dissonance that just kind of sits there and doesn't have a purpose, it can be kind of like uncomfortable and give you that kind of like eerie feeling. But clearly here they have all these short moments of dissonance where there's one voice right next to the other one. Maybe there's voices crossing actually, and so you get some of that short dissonance. But let's listen to this again. This is already stunning, and in true Pentatonix fashion, it's just a wonderful blend.
I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer.
I do know this original song. I do now know what they're... Of course, it's so famous. I don't know why I didn't connect. So stunning. And Mitch, of course, just a great way to open up this kind of angelic-like piece with Mitch's upper register. Well, something else that's really cool is Matt's not really singing what you'd call a bass line. It's like an octave above. This is something Pentatonix will sometimes do when they'll start and it'll only be high voices, and then, in like verse 2, you'll have the bass go lower and you'll have like the perk come in or something like that. And it's a way to present contrast and give the song somewhere to go. There's a lot of, in the upper voice, there's a lot of ooh, like there's a lot of that motion happening in the upper voices. Basically, the main chord, the note in the middle, ooh, is like the main harmonic chord there. The main harmonic part of that chord. Also, morning brain, so forgive me. The middle note they're singing in that pattern of 3 notes is the one that's contributing most to the actual harmony. The chords that are being sung by the full group, the ones above and below are called neighboring tones. So you have a lower neighbor and an upper neighbor, and so on those neighboring tones, they don't fit into the chord, but the middle one does. So go back. Let's go back just a bit, so you can hear what I'm talking about, and just listen to those voices going. Ooh, much higher, of course. I probably won't be attempting falsetto. It's probably not even there right now.
To be wise in times when we don't know, let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
La luce
Beautiful. Oh, was that some Italian I hear Scott about to sing in? Very cool. Yeah, Scott, I love the little tasteful riffs he puts in. So, there'll be a phrase that ends like, ooh, and he'll go, ooh, or something. He'll add like a little riff in there. Nothing extravagant, nothing that's like, hey, look at me, but just something that adds a little extra flavor to that. The backgrounds, continue kind of on the pattern they were, so I don't think I need to talk about them. And we'll back up a few seconds just so we can listen to Scott take over in Italian. And yeah, we'll see. I am quite familiar with Italian, so I'll see how Scott here holds up.
la luce che tu dai
I pray we'll find your love
nel cuore resterà
and hold it in our
a
heart.
ricordarci
When the
che
stars go out each night,
l'eterna stella sei nella
Pretty good. It's actually written, I guess, how the notes land. It's like stella, when the word is stella, star. But it's written in the way where it's stella, which doesn't make any sense. So that's just poor writing on whoever put the lyrics into this music. Occasionally that happens in an operatic piece where I'll be working with a vocal coach and I'll be stressing the wrong syllable because they'll put the unaccented syllable on like a huge high note, and you're like, how am I supposed to like power the low softer note and then unaccent the high note that's right in my like smash the note range? So composers will sometimes do that to you, and you've just got to work with it. As you could hear, we've got more motion as I was expecting. We have perk now coming in from our dear friend Kevin. So we've got perk coming in. I actually want to go back. I was really listening to Scott. I just wanted to hear what he was doing kind of with the language. Let's go back, and I want to hear what Matt is doing in the bass line. I want to see if the bass line goes lower than the first verse to kind of fill out that whole sound spectrum.
la luce che tu dai
I pray we'll find your love
nel cuore resterà
This might not even be in Italian. I actually haven't. I mean, because some of these languages, especially when sung, languages can sound very similar. Could be Spanish, or perhaps Portuguese. I'll have to fact check that. Again, this is first time reaction, so forgive me. But when sung, a lot of those kinds of languages, especially something like Italian and Spanish, if you're singing it kind of formally, like Scott is here, they can sound very similar aside from a few things. I'm very good at Italian as far as pronunciation, diction. I'm not fluent. And Spanish I only took way back in high school. So we'll get that all sorted out in the comment section. The point I was going back to find is that Matt is singing a lower bass line. Nothing crazy low, but it is lower than the first verse. So we do get that in this second verse.
In our heart,
A ricordarci
when the
che
stars go out each night.
l'eterna stella sei.
And there are a lot of similar words. Eterna stella, or you'd say stella eterna in Italiano. Ma. Here it's so I'm genuinely not sure. So we're gonna get that sorted out. Anyway, let's keep going.
Nella mia preghiera
Let this be our prayer.
ta felice.
When shadows fill our days,
Lead us to a place
guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe.
Again with the suspended fourth. Really nice. So the backgrounds throughout that whole portion are really, they're holding chords. They're kind of creating this wall of sound, which is so fitting, and it's such a powerful piece of music. So that's really nice. Also, I just want to comment on both Scott and Mitch. I like their use of vibrato. Sometimes people will try to sing this song and try to do it like operatically, like a true opera fashion, and they're not ever real opera singers, and so it's like really bad to someone who has the ear for operatic technique. I love what they're doing here because it's really their pop style voice, but with some very clearly, well breath supported vibrato, and it's kind of like a mix of like they're using like vibrato from the classical world, they're using a lot of other colors and lightness from the pop world, and there's some like musical theater like belting. I think when you do a piece like this that sounds almost classical and formal in nature, it helps to kind of bring all those elements in, because it's not an operatic song, so really it wouldn't really make much sense to sing it fully operatically anyway. So I think what they're doing here is this kind of blend of styles. Sounds really, really good, and they're both doing an excellent job of it.
a world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we're all got children reaching out to touch him, reaching to the sky.
I just love that chord progression. It's so gorgeous. Maybe I'll try to. I'll go back and try to figure out what they did there. It's just such a great chord progression, and it lends itself to doing this kind of higher and higher, almost like belt competition that they're going through. I also love the feature that the light comes shining through the woods. And it totally changes the scene, and the energy makes it much warmer. Really nice, just a beautiful section, and I love it when the high voices and Pentatonix are all belting together. It's pretty magical. Let's go back. Let's see what's going on here musically.
All got children reaching out to touch.
Oh, of course. Okay, so that's a major flat 6 there in the key of F major. They're on a D flat major chord. So major flat 6.
All got children reaching out to touch him, reaching
the suspension again. Ooh. So cool. Let's see. Ooh. Of course. Yeah, so, that probably could be an Aeolian cadence where it goes flat, major flat 6, major flat 7 to 1. So that's a D flat major, E flat major, F major, which is my favorite cadence in all of music. Because Matt actually would land on the 5 in his descending bass pattern, he would land on the 5th scale degree of that chord of E flat major. So he goes, ooh, D flat major. He's on the 1 of the D flat. Ooh, 5 of the E flat. Ooh, and then lands down there on the 1, back in F major. That might be what's happening. I'm not going to go back and fact check myself now. Don't want to spend too much time. But really, I love it when a flat 6 is thrown into a major key. And then, of course, when it goes, if it did the kind of obvious version of the Alien cadence, it would go like this. It would go. Let me get up here. So D flat major, E flat major, F major. So you have F major, and then it would go. Look how small these keys are. How am I? It's like a keyboard made for ants. If anyone that's seen Zoolander. So let me try this again. D flat major. All right, we have F major, D flat major, E flat major. Yes, nailed it. Even though my fingers take up like 3 keys at once. Alien cadence, my favorite thing ever. Let's keep going. So, again, just Pentatonix. We got the Kevin doing the big clash, epic perk, and just a lot of high belting. Matt holding down the bass line. It's kind of, they're all like coming full at you. I was just checking notes to see where they were belting. It looked like Kirsten and like Criste. I got it, y'all. And Mitch were belting up around tenor high C. Criste went up to E flat and D's up there in her bell range, which is very high belting. So, I mean, she's phenomenal. They're all phenomenal.
Be our prayer. Let this be our prayer. Just like every child. Just like every child.
That's the kind of tasteful riffing I'm talking about, baby.
Just like every child.
See, falsetto, not happening. That's super cool. Then there's something else going on there harmonically that's, I don't think in the original.
Every child. Just like every child. Needs to
Super
find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved.
Okay, so now they're in B flat major. So I was like, wait, what was Matt doing? There's E flat, E flat, F, B flat. And listen to that bass line. It's just a nice smooth, nothing crazy low, just nice and smooth.
Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Leads to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be
That's what I was just talking about, the Aeolian cadence. Thank you, guys. Ooh. Oh my God, it's so epic. Ooh. So they went in B flat major. They went G flat, A flat, B flat. If I can play the right notes. Oh, what a way to end a piece! You can't end a piece better than that. Picardy third's another thing I like. That's when the whole song's in minor. You know, like C minor. So C minor. I don't know. We'll go, and then we'll go, and then it goes. You end a minor, a song in a minor key on a major chord. That's a Picardy third because the third is changing from E flat to E in C major, for instance. It changed from a minor third to a major third. This is wonderful. This is for sure one of my favorite versions of this song ever. Like I said earlier, I hear a lot of people do this song and they kind of try to sing like an opera singer, and it's terrible. And that is critiquing opera is. I mean, it is. That is one thing I'm harsh about, and it's just because it's in our training, and like technique and artistic choice and language is just drilled and drilled and drilled day in and day out. It's the only way to master the craft. So this is so much better because that part of my brain can just shut off and I can just enjoy the wonder and beauty that the voices of Pentatonix bring instead of being like, not nearly as good as a professional opera singer, which is what happens all the time. So this is really, really a wonderful cover and beautiful. And I'm actually looking forward to going back and listening without a critical mind and just kind of soaking it in, because there's something to listening critically, analytically, like I'm doing, where I'm really hearing small things and I'm picking things out so you guys can hear what I'm hearing. But there's the whole other side of the listening experience is just kind of letting it wash over you. Just like turn off your brain and just like go to another world for a few minutes. And music has the power to do that. So, Gary, there you go, guys. You'll be seeing this on Tuesday, I presume. Tuesday, and you will have seen my analysis of Sleep by Eric Whitacre. Voces 8 doing that, absolutely stunning. This is like a beautiful music week. That followed by this, just two totally different genres and two totally gorgeous pieces. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're still sticking around, please like and subscribe and consider donating to my Patreon so that I can continue doing this kind of stuff and be financially supported in these endeavors from you beautiful people. Coffee definitely helped get me through this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this morning voice session, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.